For many years, I have been teaching what the world calls the success formula. Strategy, skill, techniques, these were the pillars, but what I am receiving in this journey from you feels completely different. In fact, it feels like the opposite of the conventional success formula. And yet, it works.
One's inner experience and the external life are so very connected. Consciousness, we can think of it as a foundation of a building. When the foundation is not right, you really can't create a beautiful structure.
Success flows more naturally. Many people know this as a concept, but I have realized that knowing this conceptually and living it experientially are completely different things.
So internally, if one is moving into an inner chaos, externally, there is going to be an external chaos. So our vision is to help 8 million people to learn to live in beautiful states, and 80,000 people live in an enlightened state of unperturbed calm. And we see that when people begin to live in this state, there would be a phase transition in humanity's consciousness, away from division, separation, disconnection, and suffering and stress, to experiencing greater connection, greater calm, and experiencing oneness.
So today, I feel we have a very special guest. In fact, I feel she may be one of the greatest teachers in the cosmos and the universe. It is truly touching for me to introduce my teacher.
Namaste. So
Namaste.
beautiful to be here.
This time, I have been receiving direct mentoring from you and from Sri Krishnaji. I only started learning and receiving this wisdom a few months ago, but my life has changed drastically. In the past 2 months alone, I feel I have experienced nearly 20 miracles. After attending the karmic liberation journey in Turkey, something shifted in my life. I work as a business consultant, supporting people in achieving their goals and fulfilling their purpose. For many years, I have been teaching what the world calls the success formula. Strategy, skill, techniques, these were the pillars, but what I am receiving in this journey from you feels completely different. In fact, it feels like the opposite of the conventional success formula. And yet, it works. Since coming to the karmic liberation journey in Turkey, I have experienced many miracles. During the journey, I lost my passport. I thought I had left it in my hotel room, but suddenly it was found in a cafe next door to the hotel. At one point, I also thought I had lost 100,000 yen. I could not find it in my wallet. But later, when I checked again, the money was there. I cannot explain how. After returning home, my YouTube channel and my clients' YouTube channels suddenly grew. 10 times more viewers, maybe even more than that. As a business consultant, I began to feel that instead of losing my work, my business was expanding in unexpected ways. This wisdom started spreading naturally, so I really want to understand, why do these kinds of miracles begin to happen?
The first part of it is the success formula. I would say the world has got it wrong. Just focusing on skills alone or hard work alone and strategies alone, or the business ideas and business strategies alone. That has been the focus for the largest part. But one is not getting into the deeper layers of one's being, oneself, one's inner experience, and the external life are so very connected. So internally, if one is moving into an inner chaos, externally, there is going to be an external chaos. And internally, if you learn to move into beautiful states and nurture those beautiful states, externally, you will begin to experience beautiful situations, beautiful people, beautiful encounters, beautiful opportunities would keep coming your way. For the simplest understanding, one should know that external life is dependent on your inner experience. If you're someone who is living in stress and anxiety and fear or shame and loneliness and sadness, if that is the inner experience, the external situations, the external life is going to invite more people to keep you, more people or more situations to keep you in that inner state. So when you have a powerful liberation in your consciousness, which is what you had in the karmic liberation process, when you're opening up, it is like, to free yourself of the patterns that are flowing in your life, patterns of loss, patterns of separation, patterns of a lot of struggle. It is all patterns flowing in everybody's life. And when you go through a powerful journey of liberation and freedom in your consciousness, it begins to manifest as incredible miracles, blessings, opportunities, and abundance, so that you can create something extraordinary in your life. So it is like your life and the universe have become very good friends, wanting to help you, wanting to support you, wanting to help you realize and manifest your intentions. And so the universe is continuously blessing you for that when you learn to live in states that are free of sadness and stress and anxiety and fear.
As a consultant, I used to ask people to focus on strategy, skills, and techniques. Some achieved breakthroughs, some did not. Now I see something clearly. Those who had breakthroughs were people who had shifted their inner state. Those who did not were focused only on profit and external outcomes without observing their inner world. What do you think about this?
Consciousness is very powerful. You can't expect to be living in the same inner state and experience another life. That doesn't work. When consciousness, we can think of it as a foundation of a building. When the foundation is not right, you really can't create a beautiful structure. Pretty similar is life. If your inner experience is not going to be beautiful, if your inner state is not going to be that of, calm and peace and love and joy, you can't really create an external life which will be according to your heartfelt intention. They don't go together. So when you work on your inner state, as you mentioned, when you begin to dissolve those patterns or habits internally, and that is when those patterns in the external life also begins to dissolve. So you can't expect to create a beautiful life with a suffering consciousness, with a suffering state. You need to wake up to beauty. You need to experience freedom and liberation. And that's when you create a very beautiful life.
Since I began learning from you, I have started focusing more on my inner state. Now, when I give presentations, I do not only teach presentation techniques or business models. I bring soul sync meditation into my life and work. When I reach the 5th and 6th steps of my process, I enter an expanded state. Before I present, I hold the intention that the people listening to me experience love and joy in their lives. From that state, when I speak, people receive the message more deeply. They feel moved. They feel inspired. And not only that, they achieve the outcomes they desire. I truly believe that bringing this teaching into our inner world is extremely important.
Very, very beautiful. Because the teachings that Sri Krishna ji and I give is just not limited for a few moments in your life where you're calm and quiet and then getting back to the same chaos. We want this beautiful state to be in you as you're relating to your family, as you're relating to your clients, your customers, as you're reaching out to people, impacting communities. It is so important to live in a beautiful state. And we want this state to be with you, and we want the state to flow out of you into other people's lives so they can also experience a beautiful life.
As a business consultant, I sometimes feel I wish I had encountered this teaching much earlier. I wish I had met you earlier. I wish I had learned this wisdom earlier. I feel I could have supported more people. I could have helped more people. Perhaps I could have even saved more people. But from now on, I want to walk this path consciously. I want to work deeply on my inner world and experience more breakthroughs with others. Here is my question. Many people come to me for consultation, but many of them are in a rush. They want quick results. They want immediate outcomes. Yet when they are in that state of hurry and pressure, they cannot achieve what they desire. I tell them, please calm down, don't rush. But those words do not really persuade them. What should be done for people who are constantly in a rush and pushing for fast results?
No, just that rush is not going to give them the intelligence that they need, nor is the rush going to help the universe to bless them. That is very important, to receive the blessings from the universe, to feel the universe is your friend, your supporter, blessing you all the time. That is possible only when the rush, the agitation, the restlessness calms down. So you should tell them that the rush is going to get them making decisions that are not right, perform actions that are wrong. And then after a couple of months or after a couple of years, they'll be rethinking it. They should have done it differently. So it is okay to take time off, and it is okay to kind of calm themselves internally before they actually move into action.
From my experience, I clearly see how the inner world affects the outer world. When I am stressed, when I am in sorrow or suffering, my business does not move forward. Even if I have the perfect strategy, there is no breakthrough. But when I am in a beautiful, calm state, miracles happen. Sometimes the speed at which I reach my goals becomes incredibly fast. However, I have one concern. After my karmic liberation journey, I lost my passport, although I later found it. I have also heard stories from fellow seekers who experienced traffic accidents, illness, or even surgery after their journey. From the outside, it can look as if something bad happens after liberation. What is your view on this? Why does it appear this way?
So you got back your passport, and though you lost it, and your friend who got into an accident has escaped without much pain. And as a particular disease has been diagnosed in another friend and has been operated and is hale and healthy now, your state is actually helping you cross those obstacles, cross those challenges that life is throwing. Otherwise, what happens is your state, if it is not a good state, it'll continue to complicate. You wouldn't have found your passport, or the accident would have been very severe, or not having diagnosed the medical condition is much worse than having diagnosed and gone through a surgery. So when your state is beautiful, you are able to overcome those challenges, those little obstacles that life keeps throwing without getting stuck in it, without getting sucked into it. So you will continue to receive the blessings of the universe, blessings of the divine again and again to protect you, to save you, to make sure that you are in a beautiful inner state and having a beautiful external life.
I understand intellectually that when our inner consciousness changes, our outer life changes. When we are free from stress and anchored in calmness, success flows more naturally. Many people know this as a concept, but I have realized that knowing this conceptually and living it experientially are completely different things. I have lived in stress. I have lived in suffering. I was caught in the same vicious cycles again and again, but after receiving direct mentoring from you and Sri Krishnaji, something truly changed in me. I experienced liberation. I understood the difference between knowledge and living.
Our vision, in its very simplest terms, that even a common person can understand, it is to help people live in a beautiful inner state. To live one's life in a place of calm, joy, connection, gratitude, appreciation, to help them live in that state again and again and again. And from that state, create a beautiful family. From that state, create the business or your career. Then it'll be a very beautiful life. So our vision is to help 8 million people live in beautiful states of consciousness. Not to get stuck in suffering, not to get stuck in anxiety and fear and stress and tension and lack and shame. Because most of you are living lives from that state. And then you also see life, it's also not kind of conducive to what you want. So our vision is to help 8 million people to learn to live in beautiful states, and 80,000 people live in an enlightened state of unperturbed calm. It's like a very peaceful state irrespective of what is happening in the external life. And we see that when people begin to live in this state, there would be a phase transition in humanity's consciousness, away from division, separation, disconnection, and suffering and stress, to experiencing greater connection, greater calm, and experiencing oneness. So that is in just our vision. And the pictorial depiction of our vision is to see oneself living in a profound inner state like a Buddha, and being able to achieve a lot in life because of your state. Because when you are peaceful, you are incredibly intelligent and the universe is supporting you. So effortless achievement, and you are with your loved ones in this journey. So we call it a Buddha driving an eco-friendly Benz, traveling in that Benz along with your loved ones. So that is the pictorial depiction of what our vision is.
After receiving direct mentoring from you and Sri Krishnaji, everything became different. I experienced real liberation. I now see that having knowledge and having lived experience are two completely different realities. Knowledge remains in the mind. Experience transforms your being. As I sit here before you, I feel my heart opening. I feel deeply inspired. Being in the presence of an enlightened master, sharing this moment feels incredibly meaningful to me. I truly want everyone to experience this. For many years, we have struggled in repetitive loops, stress, limitation, the same patterns repeating again and again. But when we spend time with an enlightened sage, we begin to walk the path of manifesting life from our heartfelt intention. As you come to Japan for these 3 stages, people will have the opportunity to experience this transformation for themselves.
Beautiful to be speaking with you, Shibuya-san, and it's so beautiful to see how inspired you are, wanting to share with the world the state that you can and they can live in and create a beautiful world. Namaste.
ナマステ、ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。